Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Powercolor Hellhound RX 9070 XT. Now I have done a selection of other 9070s and 9070 XTs that you will be able to see in the graphs in a minute, but you can also go and check the videos out for them if you want as well. Now the Powercolor is actually the second of the white 9070s that I have covered, because I have also covered the XFX Merc OC. Powercolor comes in slightly differently in that it has a full white design. So the heatsink itself is actually white. There is a white PCB in there as well. There are white fans. The lighting is very subtle and understated. You can disable the LEDs with a simple switch as well. So if you don't like RGB, well, it hasn't got RGBs. The lights are only white, but you can switch it off with a simple switch. There is a silent and a gaming stroke OC mode as well. With the BIOS switch though, I would advise you to do a full shutdown power off before you flick that switch, just so that you don't confuse things. If you've got your system on and you flick it over, it won't actually make any difference, and it can actually make your system perform slower until you've done a full reboot setup as well. Just keep that in mind. If you do flick it without it on and it doesn't post, just do a full power off, go back to the BIOS that it was on, start, stop, back. It's just a little bit of faff, but that's a thing with all cards, not just the Powercolor. You should, as a rule, full power off, flick the BIOS switch, and then it will make the change. Only two 8-pins, so an indicator straight away compared to the XFX and maybe even the Nitro Plus that it's going to be using less power. And when we did start the testing, it did become apparent that what you need to remember is the two XTs that I have reviewed are the top flight OC models, and I mean the absolute top end models. So if we were going to compare a Powercolor to those two, I'd be wanting to look, in all honesty, at comparing them to the Devil, but I haven't had a Devil to test, so I can't put the Devil in the graph. So we are focusing on the Hellhound. Now I have had a look around at prices, and prices even today for the black version of this are still showing at $699. I'm going to expect that the white model, when it does hit the stores, may carry a slight premium, but you also do need to remember is that pricing is going to adapt and change over time. It's been a week now since the launch, and like I said, these are still showing at $699 in the black model. So that's pretty good if you do shop around, and they have been showing very healthy stock levels with the Powercolor branding as well. Performance though, when I break it down, and it's quite difficult for a reviewer when we are measuring very finite differences between the cards, but my overall feeling of the Hellhound was the Hellhound XT appeared and performed more like a very fast non-XT model compared to the other results that I had done with the other cards. It was always in front of the non-XT XFX and Asus, and by a few frames, but it was always significantly behind the XFX OC model and the Nitro. Now the only reason why I can kind of bring to that is, like I've said, the Nitro and that XFX model are the top flight flagship models. This one isn't designed and isn't targeted that way as well. It probably would have been more fair to have focused on the the Devil, but I haven't been lucky enough to get my hands on one of those yet. So with the card, I think in the grand scheme of things, if you're after an all white AMD card, then it's a strong contender. But if you are looking at white, then you are going to need to maybe debate the possibility of that XFX as well. But that XFX is actually the most expensive card that I've tested so far, but it isn't the fastest card that I've tested either. When you balance up the white, if you didn't want the RGB on the XFX, then the Powercolor does come in much more understated, could fit into a simplistic system better, less power cables, which you can think about that two ways. It's either not using as much power or there's less cables for you to try and hide. I do think if you're going to be running this card, you deserve white PCI Express cables coming up and wrapping around it as well. I also weirdly think this is one of the cards that I would absolutely definitely want to run in a vertical standpoint as well, because although it does look nice looking down it in the normal way, I do think with it stood up it would look so much better. So it is, in the grand scheme of things, a bit of a mixed bag, but it is one of the first ones on the XTs that I've done without those humongous overclocks and the extra power connectors. So it is giving us a bit of a balance between the super high-end flagship models and the ones like this that are technically going to be more readily available. So that is going to be one for you to debate and digest and think about. It is a great looking card though, and I don't think those few frames are really going to make a massive amount of difference if you are looking for something that has aesthetics like this. But please do let me know your thoughts underneath. It is great to see more strong white models coming through, and Powercolor are always one of the ones that are brave very early on and give us cards with a little bit more of difference. But please do let me know your thoughts. You've seen the performance. Don't forget you can go and check more on the OC3D website. But for now, this has been Tiny Tom Logan with another video review for you. Out.